Hello guys, my name is Irks, and today I'm going to be trying to wrap up this little series on World War II and the atomic bombs. And so actually before I get into that, I just want to say that today I got to play with one of my subscribers. It was pretty cool. Me and him and one of my friends, and actually another one of my friends, we all got into a party. And yeah, it was pretty cool. So actually, if that's something you're interested in, then just let me know. It's really no big deal. In fact, I don't even have that many people to play with. So yeah, that'd be great. Just send me friend request or PM on YouTube or something like that. And yeah, Xbox Live actually only. I don't have a PS3. So yeah, I'm gonna get back into the history now, just so I can wrap this up pretty quickly. So the last time I left off on the dropping of the little boy, which was the smaller of these two atomic bombs, and the inside of the Enola Gay filled up with light as a result of this bomb. But what else happened? Well, obviously the point is that there's going to be some death and some destruction, so how many people died? Well, the article I've been going off of this whole time said that only 70,000 people were killed, and that is an extremely conservative estimate apparently, because when I looked it up on Wikipedia, it said that 90,000 to 166,000 were killed in the bombing of Hiroshima. And that is a much bigger range. Well, I mean, first of all, it is a range, but both sides of that range are higher than the 70,000 conservative estimate. So I'm guessing whoever wrote this article that I've been looking at is pretty biased towards the American side. That makes sense because it's written in English, not Japanese. But anyway, I'm sure the rest of this is pretty accurate. But let's say a 90,000 to 166,000. It's a lot of people for one bombing. And so what happened? Obviously, we're trying to end the war with this bomb. And so we say, like, are you going to surrender? And so Truman issues that to Japan. Japan sticks to their warrior code that they've been sticking to the whole time. And they say nothing for 3 days. They don't say yes or no. They just say nothing. So August 6th to August 9th, we get no requests, so we send in another plane. Again, August 9th, 1945. And this is a different plane, a different pilot, and a different bomb. So I don't have this in front of me, but I know it's not the Enola Gay. I think it's the flying boxcar, maybe just the boxcar. I'm not 100% sure. Don't remember who it was piloted by, it's not a big deal. But what is a big deal, something that you might hear about later, or have already heard about, is that the bomb on board was the Fat Man, and that's because it was bigger than the little boy. But you'll see later that actually the Fat Man doesn't do as much as the little boy did, and that's kind of interesting. So now I'm gonna kind of explain why and see if you can follow this. We went to our first target, and that, according to this article, was Kokura. And actually, when I looked this up a while ago, I thought it was Yokohama, but maybe I'm wrong. We went to Kokura/Yokohama, and it was really too cloudy. So we couldn't spot our target. So what we did is we went to Plan B, a secondary target. And this is agreed upon by what I remember and by this article was Nagasaki. Nagasaki, I guess kind of similar to Hiroshima. You've got some bases and some important industrial things there. So what we did is we took the Fat Man in there and we bombed it. And the result of this bombing was significantly fewer deaths, 60,000 to 80,000. So you've got 90,000 to 166,000. We'll say it's around 125,000. We'll just ballpark that. And then 60 to 80, we'll ballpark that at 70,000 in Nagasaki. And so you see, that's significantly less. And that's particularly interesting because the Fat Man was bigger. And so you're thinking a bigger bomb should do more, right? But we went to a secondary target. So I'm just guessing that it wasn't as densely populated, and that's why it didn't kill as many people. That seems pretty logical. So, what happens now? Well, we keep bombing, conventional bombing raids, incendiary bombs, and eventually, August 15th, so a couple days later, less than a week, the Japanese finally surrendered unconditionally, so that means they just completely gave up without any stipulations. So, wait, who's in charge? Hirohito surrenders, and World War II is over now. So that leaves us with some things to debate. And by debate, I mean discuss. And by us, I mean me and myself. So, obviously there were some good things that came out of this bomb. It ended the war, and it saved lives on both sides, like I already said. An amphibious assault would have been very costly for us as Americans, just because, you know, they've got such a good position on us, and we would have been just running into their machine guns, essentially. But it also would have been very bad for them. We have a lot of manpower, Americans, I should say. Americans have a lot of manpower. And eventually we would have overpowered them, and it wouldn't have been pretty or quick or swift. It would have been really like a ground and pound affair with a lot of deaths on both sides. And ultimately, people have speculated that we saved lives, Japanese lives, also, by using the atom bomb instead of an amphibious assault. And what else was good about this? Well, from an American perspective, it made the US a superpower, which obviously affords us a lot of bargaining power and stuff like that, and we're really on top of the world at this point, especially because of all the economic privileges that this war gave us. What's bad about it? I guess I should say, what's indisputably bad about it? It led to the Cold War. You can't really deny that. I guess you could. But it seems pretty clear-cut that the Cold War stemmed from this use of nuclear weapons, led to nuclear proliferation, and all that, and that's what the Cold War was really about. Also, we killed a lot of civilians in this, but one thing I might add on there as a little caveat is that at this point in the war, as I already said, we weren't really discriminating, and by we, I mean the whole world, Axis nor allies, were discriminating between civilian and military targets. So to say it's bad just because we were killing civilians, in general, that's a very good argument. In this case, maybe not as powerful as an argument, just because everyone was killing civilians at this point. But that is open to debate. One thing that's definitely up for debate is, was America justified in using the atomic bombs because of what the Japanese did in China during the Second Sino-Japanese War? So I'll explain this a little bit. The Second Sino-Japanese War, that really was the Chinese and Japanese side of World War II. I'm pretty sure it started before World War II started, a couple years before, maybe a year or two. And there were atrocities and events such as like the rape of Nanking, and really the Japanese never even apologized for what happened. Even to this day, actually. In fact, the only thing that I've really heard about them doing with regard to Japanese soldiers in the Second Sino-Japanese War is raising a monument to them. And really, that's okay. I mean, you should praise your soldiers. But they still haven't apologized for any of the atrocities that they committed during the Second Sino-Japanese War. So that's something to think about, something to research too. What did the Japanese do in the rape of Nanking? I actually just bought a book called The Rape of Nanking, and it's supposed to be pretty ridiculous, some of the things that they did. So that's one thing to think about. Was the US justified in this kind of tit-for-tat kind of argument? So that is all for me. I'm sorry this turned into like a 9-minute video. And I hope you enjoyed this. If you want me to put in my input, just let me know, and I will put that up. Aside from that, I am done, and I will see you guys later.